Alright. We about to tap in with this tier video about who is the dumbest cartoon character. So, let's see what they talking about. Oh, shit. This is from Manham Productions. Pause.
Dummies. Every group has one. If your group of friends doesn't have a dummy in the mix, I'm sure you guys are probably just the exception. But it's a stereotype that lives on, and there's nowhere that it's more prevalent than in cartoons. Almost every single cartoon out there has a dummy in the mix. It livens things up, it keeps things interesting, and sometimes it can be the root of the problems that the other characters have to deal with. So today I've compiled a list of 20 of my favorite animated dummies to find out who are the dumbest cartoon characters out there. I kept it at only one character per show, although there are definitely a few shows on the list where more than one character could be categorized as a dummy.
You gotta pick the dumbest nigga.
Starting off, we've got Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. When I think of dumb cartoon characters, Patrick...
See, the thing about Patrick is he did a lot of dumbass shit. But then it would be certain times where he would do some shit that you would just be like, hold up. Patrick, he ain't supposed to. Because remember when he kept on fucking that nigga SpongeBob up when they was working together? Because he was copying that nigga. And SpongeBob couldn't even do nothing about that shit, bro. When that nigga was at school with him, and then he kept getting that nigga SpongeBob in trouble, and he wasn't getting in trouble, bro. Patrick low-key an evil genius.
One of the first ones that comes to mind. But I don't know if he should be. Is he stupid? Yes. But not all the time.
Thank you.
There are some moments here and there, especially in the first couple of seasons, where Patrick's let a little bit of knowledge shine. It's not a great amount of knowledge, but it's something.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
He guided SpongeBob through almost getting his boating license, canonically went to college, and somehow made a working TV out of sand. Patrick is lazy, slow, ignorant, and naive. I mean, the guy literally lives under a rock. But he's not quite as dumb as some of these other characters we're going to be covering. Don't get me wrong, he is dumb.
C tier.
He couldn't recognize his own parents, can't hold down a job, and he even forgot that he ate a chocolate bar immediately after eating it. Patrick is a bit of a tough one.
C tier.
He's so very dumb at times, but he has moments of brilliance as well. I think the scene that really sums it up the best is in the episode Wet Painters, when he comes up with a plan to just, replace Mr. Krabs' first dollar, only to immediately use that dollar in a vending machine. Patrick is pretty dumb, but he's not the dumbest, so I'm feeling like an A tier for him. Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. Now, compared to his friend Jimmy, Sheen definitely isn't the brightest.
Alright.
But I don't think he's
Sheen, that nigga's an idiot. Hands down, dumbass. That nigga is, unless you talking about Ultra Lord, don't know shit. I'm putting that nigga in D tier.
Dumb as we're initially led to believe either.
D tier.
He's hyperactive and has almost no attention span unless it involves Ultra Lord. Put this kid on some ADHD meds though or something, and I think he might be perfectly normal. There's been moments here and there where he's shown he's got a somewhat scientific mind, but like he said,
that's why I decided early on to sabotage my highly scientific mind with cartoons and sugar.
I think Sheen's biggest downfall outside of his attention span is the fact that he's pretty impulsive and a bit out there, but I honestly don't think I'd rank him that high. He's definitely got some moments here and there where he's not quite out of dumb territory, but not nearly as often as some of these other guys. So I'm going to say C tier.
Could be smart.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad.
Hold up. Hold up. So the top ones are the stupider people. No, he's stupid. No.
Now revolves around sports.
Everett Nila! So what you trying to tell me is that Patrick is dumber than Sheen? I can't go on that. Bro. Sheen is a child. That nigga is just dumb off life. He don't know shit. Patrick got a crib and shit, bro. A dumb nigga with a crib is a nigga who lived. We don't know where Sheen got to.
Cosmo, Fairly Odd Parents. In the first couple of seasons, Cosmo definitely wasn't the brightest, but he was for sure less dumb.
No,
later
that
in the show, though,
idiot.
Cosmo becomes a full-blown idiot. There are, of course, a few moments here and there where he still has some good ideas.
How they put? Alright,
Wednesday, March 22nd, Cosmo had an idea.
But they became fewer and farther as the show went on. Some highlights of his stupidity for me include sinking Atlantis
He
9
gotta
times,
be up there with
revealing Crocker had fairies, and lastly, granting
what's his
Tim his
name?
secret wish.
Who was
There's
the
even
first
an
person?
entire episode
Fuck.
debating on whether Cosmo is mentally fit enough to live without his mother. Cosmo's kind of a danger to
Can't
society,
remember.
and a magical one at that. I think Cosmo is S tier stupid. Dog from Cat Dog.
S
Out of
tier. Hold up. Let's look at some of these people we got here. All right, I might agree with the list a little
Dog
bit
from
more
Cat
looking
Dog.
at some of these.
Out of the two titular characters, Dog is
But that
definitely
nigga
often
gotta
seen
be
as
a
the
dumbass.
dumber or more
He
naive
is
of
the
the two.
worst.
He's a bit of a goofball and can sometimes cause some mistakes here and there, but nothing too overt that really comes to mind.
What?
He's clumsy and easily distracted, but
Nothing
I don't
too.
know if I'd consider him dumb. But Dog is genuinely smart in his own way and is way more of a people person than Cat ever is. I'm feeling like a B tier for Dog.
No.
Twister from Rocket Power.
No.
Out of
No.
four main characters,
No.
Twister's definitely the least brainy out of the bunch, but I've always thought he was kind of smart in his own right. He might not be book smart like Reggie or Sam or street smart like Otto, but when it comes to video stuff, he's the guy to go to. Always keeping his camera handy and making videos for Otto, and even working on Reggie's zine. He's even a part of the AV club at his school. He's definitely a bit gullible and naive and can drop some very out-of-pocket quotes
He's gonna
here
be
and there,
kind of smart.
but I don't think I'd call him dumb.
I would say
Just a bit different
D.
from the rest. So I'm gonna go C tier.
What?
Billy from the
What the fuck type of tier list is? It's no way, bro. It's no way. Sheen and Dog are literally the same. All right.
Adventures
This
of Billy and
nigga
Mandy.
gotta
Even
be.
though as a baby Billy was
He keep on saying even though. Every time he open it up, pause. He's saying even though.
What do you mean by that?
Ain't no even though. These niggas is idiots,
a
man.
genius, that stopped pretty quickly and he became one of the dumbest TV characters to ever grace our screens. I could go on and on listing
S-tier.
every dumb thing that Billy's done since it's
S-tier.
basically every single episode. He never learns from any of his mistakes, lacking any sort of common sense, and just staying consistently dumb throughout the whole series.
President Lincoln.
Billy canonically has an IQ of -5, being beaten out by inanimate objects. A lot of the characters on the list get moments where it turns out that they actually possess some sort of knowledge that the other characters don't, whether it's to further the plot or even as maybe like a one-off joke. Billy doesn't get those moments. He's always just Billy, and I respect him for that. Billy's an absolute idiot. S tier.
Okay.
Rigby, regular show.
I ain't never
Half
watched
of the main
regular
duo
show.
in the show. Rigby's definitely the dumber of the two,
That's
but I
too
don't
new.
think I'd really classify him as a dummy. He might not be very book smart, initially dropping out of high school before going back later in the show to finish. There's even an entire episode in season 2 about Rigby not being treated well for dropping out. So he tries to make himself smarter by taking a supplement called Brain Max, which, in regular show fashion turns out to be a terrible idea. However, he's shown himself time and time again to be pretty resourceful, often helping the two of them get out of any sticky situation, or even out of working their jobs. He can be pretty clever.
Is it me or is cartoons like gone? Like, what are the new cartoons? Like, not the kids, like the baby stuff, not like the Coco Melons and what are the new cartoons that people watch? Not the animes. I get the animes. I'm not saying that. What are the new American-made cartoons people watch in this day and age? Like, I never watched the regular show. I never watched Adventure Time. I never watched, what's that one shit? Steve's whatever adventure, whatever. I don't know, something like that. But it's a chowder, even. I never watched these shows, but I knew how much other people younger than me watched them shows. I knew how much they fuck with them bitches. So I'd be kind of like, what's the new cartoons that niggas even be watching these days?
At times, but he's also really impulsive, lazy, and just completely irresponsible. But even though he isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, I think he's still a pretty resourceful one. So I think I'm going C tier for Rigby. Ed from from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
That
Ed is
nigga
100% an
is
idiot,
the worst.
but he's got a few things going for him,
No.
like his vast knowledge of horror movies, and for some reason he's really good at identifying chickens. But he is very dumb. I've seen this guy eat a
Nigga's the
mattress.
worst.
Ed isn't as dangerous of an idiot as someone like Billy, but I'd
The
consider him
worst.
probably just as dumb. He's absolutely clueless, talks nonsense half of the time, and if he
S
didn't have the
tier.
super durability that he has in the show, he would have died from self-sustained injuries like 3 episodes in. I love Ed. He's one of my favorite characters from any cartoon.
That's crazy.
But is he one of the dumbest
That's-
characters out there?
That's them niggas on freak time over there. That's crazy.
S tier.
These new songs, they're the only thing I still believe in. It's the story you want to tell.
Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Compared to Brain, Pinky
They
definitely
said
stands out as
Pinky-
having quite a low.
Y'all ever heard the conspiracy theory that Pinky was actually the smart one and the Brain wasn't? Y'all ever heard of that?
But honestly, this is another character that I don't think is as dumb as we're initially led to believe. Sure, he's more feeble-minded and more happy-go-lucky than his counterpart, but he has genuine moments of intelligence that I wouldn't even call, a rare occurrence. He's constantly pointing out flaws in Brain's plans, has a vast knowledge of pop culture trivia. That's not to say he doesn't have his faults. He's clumsy, naive, and often throws out some really out there lines. But I guess if my best friend was an evil genius trying to take over the
B
world,
tier.
I might seem a bit more dull in
I'm
comparison.
going B.
I don't think Pinky here is nearly as dumb as some of the others on this list. So I'm going to go
Or
with the
C.
C tier.
C. Yeah.
Seuss from
C.
Gravity Falls. While he may
Never
be a
watched
bit of an
Gravity
oaf here
Falls.
and there, Seuss is not a dummy. He might not have the sharpest mind, but he's been shown throughout the whole show to be able to handle the practical things in life. From fixing things around the shop, to helping the Pines out in their crazy adventures, to even dropping some real wisdom every now and then.
You ready to blow up these hot dogs in the microwave one by one?
He can definitely be a bit naive and quirky, but he can also be pretty savvy and resourceful at the same time. He's genuinely helped solve problems throughout the series and seems to be able to handle tough situations well too. I don't even know if Seuss really deserves to be on the same list as some of these characters, so I'm going to put him on D tier. Goofy. I talked about Goofy a bit on my Cartoon Dogs video a while
Goofy?
back, and yeah, he's exactly as his name implies.
That
a
nigga's
goof.
an idiot.
He's clumsy, constantly messes things up, and sometimes
used to
has
watch
little to no
Goofy
understanding of
cartoons,
basic
pause.
concepts. He might not be the brightest bulb, but he does have his occasional moments of wisdom, especially when it comes
Mainly
to
with
his
his
son,
son.
Max.
Yeah.
I think, like a lot
Yeah.
of characters on this list, he's just a bit naive at times. But there's also other times where he seems to know exactly what's going on,
So
but he's
another
just so
person's gonna
carefree
put
that
in
he just
C
doesn't
tier?
burden himself with it.
He just put
I think the
everybody in
smartest
C
version
tier.
of Goofy that we've gotten so far has been in the Goofy movie series.
Yeah.
In the first movie, he's smart enough to know when Max is trying to trick him and then gets them backstage at the concert at the end. And in the second movie, he graduates college. That's no dummy. However, in other interpretations, he's pretty stupid,
Yeah.
especially in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I know it's a show for kids, but Goofy is an absolute moron here. So we're gonna go B tier. Kronk from
tier.
Emperor's New Groove. Kronk is the definition of a himbo.
Nigga's the
He's
dumbest
often
nigga
making
in the
mistakes in the
world.
movie, but most of the mistakes actually end up benefiting the main characters since he's the bumbling henchman. However, I don't think he's entirely
You
stupid.
know, Emperor's New Groove ain't as bad as what they make it out to seem. It's decent. It ain't great, but it's decent.
He's a great cook. He can speak squirrel, which is insanely
This is,
impressive.
I think this is the real problem with it, is that it doesn't seem to represent Hispanic or South American culture whatsoever. And I think that's what makes it weird. Cause you see like Coco and how Coco represented Day of the Dead and that stuff so perfectly. Not perfectly. I don't want to say perfectly. That's not a good word. That's not a good word to say. But in a more open way for people to have a conversation to talk about it and stuff like that. To where this movie just had none of that whatsoever. Like, I'm somebody who fuck with, that Inca, Mayan, Aztec culture, civilization stuff down there because it's some of our biggest links to. We'll talk about that on some different days. But it just wasn't a good representation of their culture. That's what I feel like.
If you think about it. And he's generally pretty capable of doing normal everyday things. He just makes some mistakes here and there, like, switching around the poisons.
Oh, right. The poison. poison for Cusco.
pulling the wrong lever, failing to get rid of Cusco, and ultimately he's the one that defeats Yzma, although not intending to. He's almost not in dummy territory, but he's made enough mistakes that he has to rank somewhere on here, so I'm going to put him on B tier. Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant
I
Ninja
hate this
Turtles.
list.
Mikey is the most laid back and carefree of the turtles.
I
and
hate
he's
it.
definitely a bit of a goofball, but I wouldn't count him out.
I can't vibe with
Yeah,
it.
he can drop a few doozies here and there that have you questioning his intellect. But all in all, the fact that Mikey is not only adept at being a ninja, in fact, being possibly the most talented out of the four brothers, but when he loses that unserious side, Mikey becomes an absolute force to be reckoned with. He's usually a fun-loving goofball and is often cracking jokes and not taking things too seriously, but Mikey's no dummy. D tier. Gur from Invader Zim. Once again, we've got a
Gur's
sidekick
not
to an
dumb.
evil genius, so in comparison to Zim, who isn't even that smart in his own right, Gur's kinda dumb. But I think a lot of it comes from just how erratic and random he is. There's simple concepts that Gur can't quite comprehend, like how to blend in, and even the mission that he and Zim are on half the time. He'll have random outbursts where he says something completely nonsensical, gets distracted very easily, especially when it comes to food, and has even messed up Zim's plans here and there. He definitely lacks some common sense, and he's extremely unpredictable, but this randomness can actually lead to some moments of clarity and wisdom, although they're...
Invader Zim is a top tier show I did not like when I was a kid. When I was younger, I just thought it was weird. I had to get older to really realize how dope it was.
pretty few and far in between. I think I'm going to put Gur on B tier. Butter.
I got something that'll cheer you up, Jack.
I go the other way. Let me go.
What's happening to me?
Building credit shouldn't
Love that
be.
commercial.
If you know, you know.
That's one of the
Use a
coolest
credit card to buy
commercials
everyday
in the-
things
in-
and pay
in
it
the
off every
NBA.
month to build credit. Establish credit with the Chase Freedom Rise credit card.
Nigga don't want to take
Learn
no ride
more
with his
at
kids, but he'll take one with
chase.com/rise.
that nigga. Oh, my bad.
It's from South Park. I don't
I
think
don't
I'd
want no
consider
problem
Butters
with
dumb.
Anthony Edwards.
He's gullible for sure. He hardly ever seems to recognize when the other characters are manipulating him. And even on the rare occasion that he starts to put two and two together, he still usually ends up
I don't
going
watch
along
South
with
Park.
it because he's such a trusting person, when he really shouldn't be. He's been tricked into traveling to Mexico, becoming a supervillain, and
I think South Park is stupid. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the appeal of it. I do understand they do be hitting on some shit. Definitely. See enough clips, watch enough stuff where they got some great. One of my favorite is the dad. The dad at the boys World Series where they playing baseball and they was cheating the whole way there. Yeah, bro. There's some great South Park episodes. It's just I don't really fuck with the show. I think that they walk a line that I'm just not. It's not even that I'm not comfortable with. It's just kind of like I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch it. It's cool. You got the right to say, and it's cool that you've been able to say as much as you have been able to say for all these years, but I just don't want to watch it personally. That's not my vibes.
unknowingly becomes a pimp at one point. He's just too trusting and naive, especially with so many characters around that are willing to just take advantage of that. So I'm going to put Butters on C tier. Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons.
Idiot.
Ralph
Worst.
is a being that exists on his
That
own
nigga
planet.
has to be
Sure,
the
we've got some
worst
absolute
nigga
bona
in
fide
the
dummies
world.
on this list. Some might even call idiots. But Ralph is just
Ralph
on a
is
whole
an
new level.
idiot.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is hilarious nonsense.
Man.
Class, in what year was 1 plus 1? The answer is the amazing Ralph.
He's constantly putting himself in harm's way. And I can't think of a single smart thing that Ralph has
Go
done. And I watch The
banana!
Simpsons every single night. He's pretty innocent when it comes to his dumbness,
Oh,
though.
yes, I know these episodes. I've watched these episodes. I watched so many Simpson episodes, bro. I used to get... My mom would bring me DVD, VHS recordings of The Simpsons all the time, bro. And I would just have all of the seasons on VHS. And that episode specifically is the one where it's like a Lord of the Flies type of remake, and the kids get lost in the jungle. I love that episode. It's a great Simpsons episode.
Never really causing problems for other characters, and he's usually got a good heart about things. But Ralph is an absolute dummy. From not fully understanding the English language, which has led to some of the best quotes in the entire 30-year run of the show.
Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
I love Ralph. He's not only one of my all-time favorite animated characters, but I think he's the dumbest person on this list by a large margin. Ralph is going past S tier into Ralph tier.
That nigga called
Jeff
him
Fisher,
Super
American Dad.
Nintendo.
Now, there are plenty of people out there who
Super
partake in the
Nintendo.
devil's lettuce that don't really let it affect their intelligence. Jeff is not one of these people. Jeff is your typical stoner. He's pretty lazy and spacey.
Never watched American
but I feel
Dad,
like
for
calling
real.
him dumb might be a bit of a stretch. He's definitely pretty clueless most of the time, but he's also stony baloney 24/7. Jeff is oblivious to almost everything going on around him, from Roger being an alien to pretty much any sort of danger that the family's in. He does have a few moments of clarity here and there, especially when it comes to helping out the family. I feel like if he just put down the pipe, he'd probably be quite a bit smarter. But hey, he's happy and that's all that matters. I'm gonna go C tier. Gene, Bob's Burgers.
Not
Out
a
of the
Bob
three
Burgers
Belcher
fan
children,
either.
Tina got the book smarts, Louise got the street smarts, and Gene's got whatever Gene's got going on. But that's not really a bad thing at all. He might not be the most well-read or even have the most common sense. I mean, he does mess things up by losing his focus so often that his family started referring to it as gening out. But I think he might secretly be one of the smartest ones in his family. Not in the traditional sense, at all. But Gene is immensely creative. Whether he's making music or just coming up with some strange...
Why do the worst women in the world love watching Bob's Burgers? I gotta ask this question. It's always the worst bitches that you meet. They be fine, but they be the worst human beings that you ever ran into. And they always be like, you like Bob's Burgers? No, bitch, I don't like Bob's Burgers. I don't want to watch no Bob's Burgers with you. Fuck. You a terrible person. I already know. Probably a Virgo, too.
out of the box way to keep himself entertained. And honestly, there's been so many times where Gene has actually come through in a surprising way. Gene's not dumb. He's different. But that's a good thing in my opinion. Yeah, he can say some really out there things and gets really easily distracted, but Gene's just doing what Gene does, and I fully support it. D tier. Peter, Family Guy. Not only is Peter an absolute idiot, but he's a harmful idiot.
That's tough, because at the beginning, Peter wasn't just like a dumbass nigga. It's just like Stewie. Stewie at the beginning wasn't just like some weird, like he was a genius. Then he just became some weirdo later on. Like Peter at the beginning, he wasn't he was an idiot, but it wasn't like he was just super. Like he became childish. Like in the first couple of seasons, he was just like a dumb motherfucker. Then later on, he became like just a child basically, and it was kind of like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand. Some of the things they doing.
Constantly endangering his own
Not
wife,
the
kids, and
concepts.
friends.
Just
almost every single episode, he's consistently
nigga
proving himself
weird.
to be dumber and dumber as time goes on. I could probably fill a book with all the stupid things Peter has done, and I have a feeling he might not be able to read it. And you might think he's so stupid that he doesn't realize how he's harming everyone around him, but I disagree. I think he's just at the cusp of smart enough that he just doesn't care, and that's worse. That's not to say I don't enjoy the show or anything, but Peter's definitely a moron, and there's no question about that. There's moments here and there where he comes off a little bit intelligent, especially when it comes to like pop culture things, but more often than not, he's a grade A dummy. So let's go A tier. And last but not least, we've got Fry from Futurama. Now, being flung forward in time 1,000
That's my
years,
guy.
anybody would be out
But
of
he
sorts.
was an idiot.
But Fry's not just
Even-
anybody.
yeah.
He's dumber. He's not a complete idiot. You know, there's plenty of moments throughout the show where his subtle common sense has come in handy.
Not
and he's
really.
generally pretty good at dealing with other people, especially his friends. But he's definitely a bit dim-witted. But honestly, he kind of just lacks any sort of awareness of whatever situation the crew is in, and he's just kind of ignorant. But even through his dumbness, he does often end up being the one to save the day. And unlike so many other characters on this list, he seems to actually learn and grow each time.
Yeah, I'm like Fry got smarter when he got to the future. He got a lot smarter, and he helped out a lot, and he changed over the years. So I don't know. I think Fry different. I
By
think
little.
He
But what
kinda
matters
smart.
is he actually learns throughout the show.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go B tier.
B.
And there you have it,
I
my
would say
ranking of cartoon
C.
dummies. Which character do you think is the dumbest? And let me know if I missed any
I
of your
think
favorite
Ralph.
cartoon
I think you
idiots.
got that right, and that kind of make me want to agree with the rest of your assessment with some of these other. Let's see. Let's look at it real quick. Pause. All right. Yeah. I think it's the A and the B tier that gets me a little fucked up. Maybe the C tier too. Cause I think Peter Griffin is smarter than Sheen. I think that Fry is smarter. Yeah, Fry. No, yeah, Fry is smarter than Sheen. I feel like I'm not wrong in saying that, bro. I don't think that I'm wrong in saying that. I feel like it leaves those two characters right there. But even if I gotta go Goofy, I'll give Goofy over again Sheen. Sheen, I think maybe the biggest issue I got with this list is where Sheen is. Maybe he just need to move. I think he should probably be in like A tier, if I'm being honest. And then I think that might fix the whole list right there. Actually. Yep, I fixed it. I just fixed it. I fixed the list. There you go. Yep.
Cartoon dummies. Which character do you think is the dumbest? And let me know if I missed any of your favorite cartoon idiots. And remember, if you don't have a dumb person in your group, that's okay. There probably just isn't one, right?
Yep. He's trying to say, obviously, if you're an idiot, you're the dumb one.
Hey, I'm not the dumb friend, right?
No way, man. You're the ugly one.
Oh, thank God.
And hey, whether you're a dummy or not, the Secret Ham Society is always open to anyone of any sort of intelligence. You can watch all my videos ad-free, vote on video topics, amongst other fun, not dumb things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Smart man. Clap it up. That's Man Ham Productions, if y'all didn't know. Hell yeah, I'm vibing with that. I'm vibing with that. Like that. Like his vibes.